Hey folks, what's going on? Welcome to the Autofocus podcast. My name is Scott,
And I'm Dan.
and this is episode number 12. We're really rolling through these episodes, man.
Yeah, I like it.
It's good. We're having fun. Before we get, I guess I'll go over tonight. We're going to do, if anybody listened to episode 11, we're going to talk a little bit about a little photo battle. Dan had the idea of let's having a little competition. Taking pictures of watches, and then we took with 3 pictures of the same watch, and Dan and I are gonna critique them, and we're gonna put these up on social media, and you guys are gonna pick the winners. And you got to be unbiased. I don't care if you like Dan or I better. You just gotta pick the best photo. All right. But before we get into the nitty gritty, let's go over what platforms we're on and everything like that. So we are on YouTube and Facebook if you're a video watcher, and then for the audio, we've got Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Breaker, Pocket Cast Radio, Public, and we are on Apple Podcasts. And other than that, I appreciate if you can like and follow and hit that notification bell on YouTube. It means a lot to us. It just means people are subscribing to our content, which is great. So, all right. So how do you want to start this out? Do you want to share yours first? Do you want me to do mine?
You go first. I want to see what you did. You're the
Oh,
photographer.
you want me to go first? All right. So should we do so last time we did this, we did every other. Do you want to do that
Yeah.
again?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do every other.
All right. So let me screen share.
I just want to see where you're at.
Oh no. So which one do I show you? Do I just show you my favorite one?
Yeah, I'm going to show you my favorite first.
I don't even know which one's my 100% my favorite, but all right, I'll start with.
I'm nervous.
All right, I'll start with this one. You ready? Can you see my screen?
Not yet. There we go. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I probably went away there and came back.
Yeah, it's still there. It's good.
Okay.
What's the green under it? Or do you want to talk about it first and then?
Yeah, so let me describe it a little bit.
Yeah.
So we talked about this in the last episode. This is a watch my wife and I got for my 30th birthday. It's always been like a holy grail watch. We just let's go out and buy it. This is the case that the watch comes in. So I know it's tough to see, and I did this on purpose, but that little gold spot in the kind of the lower third there, that's the actual Rolex logo. And then the left is the tag that hangs off the watch. And then the idea behind the Rolex is this particular model is the Submariner, so it's designed for diving or water. So the idea of the top, I think, is waves or water ripples. So I just try to use the colors of Rolex. If you've ever watched golf or dark green is their color.
Yeah.
And then I did my best to just focus on, making that watch as crystal sharp as possible.
Yeah, the watch is crystal clear. I would say, especially if there's the logo and that other emblem is part of it.
Yep.
I might have put the watch in between them and shot straight down, just so you have just because I would have no clue what those gold thing and the green thing is.
I mean, I think again, I just described them for you, but I think that I think the focus has got to be the watch here.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you. It's a little distracting because it's what is that stuff?
Just if you don't know, right?
Yeah, sure. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
now what's the background?
It's just my gray concrete wall. Again, I didn't want to take away from my the watch at all. So I didn't want to add, in this particular one, I didn't want to add anything that was distracting. Yeah. So I just put a little bit of backlight back there, just to make it glow a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it.
And
now, what lens did you use?
So for all 3 of these, I used my 28 to 70. This is at 20. Nope, this is at 32 millimeters.
Now, did you realize that you couldn't get close in with the 28 to 70?
I actually could get closer. So
I can
get, so I could probably get, I could get closer for sure. Yeah. I'll show you in some of the other pictures how close, because I think I maxed out my focusing distance in one of them. Actually, maybe not all the way, but pretty close.
Now, what did you do in Lightroom?
So not a ton on this one. So I put there's a little bit of a color grade on it. You can see that the fade in the front is a little lighter, but I took a circular what do they call it, like gradient or whatever, and lightened everything but the watch. So the watch itself is probably the original exposure, but everything else was, I faded it out a little bit so
Yeah.
that again your eyes are drawn to the watch. I think this is the only one that I actually did that on. But it's one of the only one. I think there's another one that's got some other stuff in it, but this one I felt like it was a little distracting, so I was just trying to like minimalize. But it was the sharpest one of the sharpest ones that I had, which is actually pretty hard. Like I'm gonna zoom. Can I zoom in? Yeah. You don't realize how hard it is to photograph a watch. Like this is the first time I've really done it and like put it out. It's like, one, I used a polarizer for all of them, which helps cut down on reflection. You can see obviously in the right hand side that like there's still like that's where my light source is from.
Yeah. But
and
at
the other
least you're
thing-
not getting it in the middle of the watch.
Yeah, and yeah, that's definitely a problem. I mean, it's really hard, man.
Absolutely.
You don't realize how hard it is to photograph watches. This was my first time, and I also did shoot, and maybe I could show a couple of those too. Another watch that I have just to like try it out, and I kind of went like, wow, this is a lot more difficult than I mean, I don't want to say I remember because I've never really done it, but
Yeah. Now, so did you try to stand the watch upright so you could get the Rolex upright?
yeah.
or...
So there's a couple different shots, so they're not all
Yeah.
shot like in the same. So you'll see some other ones.
Ooh, is that a
but this
Mercedes symbol in that?
Yeah, so that's kind
cool.
of indicative of the Rolex. They call it the Mercedes hands, actually.
Ah.
Pre some of the original Rolexes had what they call snowflake hands, and like Tudor, that sub brand that I talked about last episode. They actually even today they use a snowflake hand, kind of like a watch nerdy thing. Like this is people that are Rolex people, like they like dive into like the model numbers and they like know the
Right.
differences between the years and all that stuff. But then there's people that are Submariner, which is this model number, just Rolex Submariner people. And then like, they know, I know a good amount about them, but people get like super complex about this stuff. So, yeah, I love the watch though. I wear it almost every day. So cool. All right. Why don't you go now?
All right, I'll share my screen. Ooh, I'm nervous.
Nervous.
All right, can you see it?
Not yet.
Whoops.
It's loading now. So both Dan and I were talking like we definitely could have spent a little bit more time doing this. But life got in the way. We it's hard enough to just produce the podcast, but I probably could have spent a whole day probably shooting and trying different things. Like I still have some other ideas, and I want to go over that after with you.
That's the thing. When I was doing it, it was super fun, but we were supposed to record an hour before, and I banged out these photos real quick. So
Right.
It was cool. It was cool doing it. I definitely wish I could have spent more time on it. Did it load?
It hasn't loaded yet, but I'm gonna stop sharing my screen
Oh,
because
perfect.
that might help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't loaded yet. Why don't you stop and then start? Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Oh,
You got
it
it?
just went through. No, it went through and then stopped.
Oh, because I keep clicking back to the thing. Did it go through?
Nope.
All right, I'm gonna stop. And
Oh,
then
there you go.
share.
No, it went
okay,
through.
Okay,
All
perfect,
right.
perfect.
All right, cool. All right, so this is similar to one of the ideas I had. I didn't execute it. So I was gonna take. I don't even know what that is. If that's like glass or like jewelry or whatever in the background, but
Yeah.
I was going to take like a tin foil and put my watch in it and put water on it to like mimic snow or like water or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's the composition's great, lighting's great. It, like the colors mimic the face of the watch, which is cool. Breitling's a great watch for sure. It's definitely kind of like very moody, like it's like kind of dark and like definitely well done. That could I feel like I could see that in a magazine. That's like a pretty well lit and
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice, man.
Yeah, so I'm at the restaurant and the studio's across the hall, and we had these. I was looking for anything to like put underneath the watch, and we had a little box of like plastic crystals, and then we had a big crystal on top of the bar. So I took it all, ran up to my studio, and just kind of made a little scene. And then I shined my blue light behind it, and then there was a key light in front. But the only thing I don't like, but I tried filling it in Photoshop, but I didn't like it even more, is the dead space of the desk on the right. But it kind of works.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
mind it, man. It actually is really, it's a really clean image.
yeah. You could put like a logo up there too or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really nice looking image. I would say the only thing for me is it feels, I guess I'd want to see your other images. It feels like there's no context, like it's super close. But again, we haven't seen the other three images, and I feel like that's important because part of the criteria we talked about was to like, show kind of like how the watch is used or a little bit about the watch. I think this definitely portrays that pretty well. Because like
I'm screwed in the next.
Well, it's all good. I think it does a really good job. It's super sharp. What lens did you use?
So yes, I used my 24 to 105, but I took it off because I couldn't get close enough, and I
Yep.
used my 10 to 18,
Wow.
and I was able to get really close.
That's cool. So this is one of the times where I almost ordered last week too, like extension tubes.
Oh man, I have some too.
So I don't have any and they're like $50 online, but I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out and buy something for this challenge. Like I'd love to have those, but I feel like not that it was cheating, but it was like,
Right.
yeah, I wanted to use the stuff that I had already had. You know what I mean? That was like
Yeah.
a little bit more, but yeah, that's great. I mean, I think that's great. I love the like glass, like,
Yeah, so I turned it blue. It's more of a whitish. You'll probably see it in one of my other colors, one of my other photos, but I turned it more blue to kind of make it almost look like watery, really glass.
dude, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
And
Like some real nice glass.
it totally looks like that. Like I totally
Yeah.
could see that with like an ad with like a Breitling logo in the upper right hand corner. Like
Yeah.
very well done. Definitely like
Awesome,
that better than mine for sure.
Thank you. All right,
right.
let's go to one
Yeah,
of yours.
swap it up. All right. All right, so the next image is, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely better than my first one.
Oh, I like that one though.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got it. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with this one, again, just use the box as like a platform. Again, doing this studio kind of last minute.
How'd you get it to stand up like that?
I have an SD card propped
Yes.
up behind it.
Yes, because I was like, I've tried that. There's no way.
Yeah, so I used an
Yes.
SD card to
That's
prop
perfect.
it up. The go ahead, you tell me about it first, and then I'll talk a
Yeah,
little bit about it.
so this is great. I love how the logo too, everything's right in the middle, super centered. Maybe I'd add a vignette to kind of bring more to the watch.
Like a dark area all the way around
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yep, just to kind of darken it up. But no, I love this composition. I like this one better than the last
Yeah,
one.
so do I. Like the
Yeah.
other one was definitely the least of my favorite, like the least. And the idea too for me was like I thought you could put like the Rolex logo on the upper left, and then like maybe
Yep.
I don't know, some specs on the right. Like I was trying to think about how I could get these in a magazine,
Right, like an
So-
ad or something.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Now, what f-stop are you using?
so this is f2.8.
2.8. Did you think of shooting deeper?
Not really, because the only thing you really want to see is I feel like the watch. Like I'm trying to.
I'm just still
emphasize
thinking
the
about that
watch.
logo. I'm always like, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely
yeah.
probably could have shot that at like f4 and like put the Rolex the watch in the back and then the logo in the front of the depth of field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely could have done that. Again, I was just trying to like 100% focus on the watch. So in this particular one, you can see I've got like a white light on the right and then a yellow light on the left. I didn't want to use any.
Yeah.
I didn't want to use any color because I didn't want it to be too distracting. I tried to mimic the gold color of the Rolex logo in the front, and then the obviously just white light to mimic like the concrete background, so that like again 2 colors in there. What was really hard for this is, first of all, I mean, I wear my watch every day, so it's dirty as hell. Like it's I wear it every day. So getting all the dust off, I literally had to like Photoshop some of the dust off of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to alter any of the image. So like see if you can see, so on the right there's like a little magnifier on the right hand side of the watch.
Oh yeah, with
where it shows you the
light.
date. See the lights in there.
Yes,
I like
yeah.
wanted to Photoshop them out, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna like
Keep it. Yeah. I have
like I'm
yes. I had
yeah,
the
and
same issue in one of mine, and I was gonna
okay,
bring it
so
into Photoshop, and I said the same thing.
and I wasn't sure how far we were gonna go with this, and like if we
Yeah.
do more of these, we'll have a comfort zone of like what we are able to do. But
I mean, I still go all out, you know?
yeah, maybe next time we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I would have photoshopped that out.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: after shooting these, I would have repositioned my camera so that the date of that was magnified perfectly in the magnifier,
Oh, yep.
so that it wasn't like below the like you can see it's like a little bit below the like eye
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah. That's super attention to detail right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, here's I know, but that's me. So the other thing I
Right.
noticed is like I really wish the hands of the watch were at 10 at 2 o'clock. So
Yeah.
like the small one was at 10 and the right one was at 2, and then I tried to get the second hand like perfectly up and down there, like but
Yeah.
you
I
can
saw
see
that.
it's just like a
I
little
actually
bit
saw
off to
that
the
though.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it would have cut the watch into thirds, right? So it would have been like super symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
The original idea with this shot, actually what I was going to do, but again I thought like I was going too far into the Photoshop realm, was so my watch has got great like what they call lume for night shot. So I did take the shot like with the lights off, with like the everything
Slower shutter
glowing.
speed.
No, yeah, show like like quarter of a second or like one
Yeah.
full second or something like that. But so the watch was completely dark, but all you could see was the glowing like light from
Yep.
the.
That's cool.
And then I was gonna Photoshop half of the watch, like during the day, and half with the lume.
Ooh.
So I have it,
That would have been sick.
and I think it. I didn't fully execute it, so I'll pull it up right now just because we're talking about it.
Yeah. Dude, me and you kind of have the same idea because on one of my photos, I almost split it in half where it was very blue on one side and very orange on the other, but then I decided not to.
Right. Yeah. I just felt like it was like too far. Like, again, I didn't know our rules, and I was like, man, I'm really getting down the realm of like photoshopping stuff. You know what I mean?
Hey, I think that's cool though. I think it should be whatever.
Actually, I don't even know. Did I save one? Yeah. So I started to work on it, but I didn't finish
yeah.
it. Let me pull this up here. Can you see?
That's cool. That's sick.
So yeah, I started to work on it. I just wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't 100%. I wasn't like, oh man, that's like a
I would
killer
honestly
shot.
I would honestly black it out so you can't even see the numbers on the other side. So you just see the glow.
Just see the glow.
Because
Yeah.
it's a little distracting seeing the.
Well,
the
that's
numbers.
why I started to stop. I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, something doesn't seem right.
That's
And
cool, though.
I'll show this one too right now, just because it's like a similar shot, just a little bit further back on the piece. But yeah, I like that one a lot. I thought that was cool. It was just like perfectly centered, and I got to watch it stand up, like you said, like which was
Yeah, dude,
not,
I was sitting
not
there
easy.
propping it up with so many different things in my.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
oh my god.
Cool.
So,
All right, you show yours now.
all right. Share. Now, I'll do this one.
Oh, you don't seem that happy about it. I'll do this one.
I don't like the next three, but or whatever.
Next, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like this a lot. The problem is the other one. If you showed me this first, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's sick. Like it blends in. It's almost like in the environment. But you showed me one that was better first, so I'm like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's like again. It's in its environment. It looks like it's super sharp, at least on the screen share.
Yeah.
The only thing I kind of would say is like a little bit funky is it's almost like tilting away from us.
Yep. And I noticed that as soon as I pulled it up, I go, oh man, I wish yeah.
Yeah, almost if the camera was either just a little bit higher or the watch was like a little bit further facing us.
Yep.
And then again, same type of thing with mine is like like we just didn't spend enough time. It's like our hands aren't set up on the watch right.
Oh right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like other than that, yeah, I think it's great. I think it looks good. Composition's good. You definitely put like you said, like not a vignette, but like I guess it is like a vignette around it. I can see it on the left hand side. So
I was trying to make the focus, the watch.
Be on the watch.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's clean, it's sharp. I love the crystal idea. I mean, it's a very, like, if you looked at my notes, I have one that's like tin foil, throw water on it, like make it look like it's like in ice or like water or something like that.
Yeah.
So super clean. Is this same type of thing, like key lighting and like a secondary light?
Yep. So I kept the blue. It just worked so good with the crystal. But same thing, what you were talking about, how you had to clean it. I took a couple photos and I noticed my fingerprint was right on the glass, and I
Dude,
was like, "What is
so
that?"
brutal.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh my god, you got to do this with gloves." But so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna show because my next photo is very similar.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna pull it up now just to get out of the way.
Get it out of the way because you're nervous. No.
So this is the one bad thing is you can see the light that I wanted to Photoshop out. I
Oh,
don't know if
for
it popped up
sure.
on your screen.
Yeah.
But I was trying to drop the crystals so it would kind of you'd have a little motion in
Oh,
there.
gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, I
Here's
could have
the
done this way
thing.
better.
Yeah, so I think now I see what's going on here, and I see that you have that light. You definitely should have photoshopped that light out.
Yeah, yeah,
But again, I totally get it. We were both like, how far do we go here?
yeah.
Yeah, this is like one of those things where it's almost probably better executed in Photoshop because like if you had just like photoshopped like the crystals dropping on like a blank canvas and then like
Oh,
drop
and then
them
put them.
into the image,
Yes.
like
Yep.
sometimes like what people don't realize is so many photos are not like they're not done live, like
Right.
the crystals are put in secondary or like whatever it is. But I love the concept for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I kind of think of when you start to do this is maybe it would have been cool if the crystals were stagnant and you were dropping the watch.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool.
And the watch you actually like caught like midair, like with the break, like the whole thing like falling into the crystals.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would have been super cool.
That would
You
be
know,
sick.
you know
Yeah.
what we could do, and I don't know if we'll be able to execute this before our next podcast, but maybe you and I should shoot one together and
Yeah.
see what we can come up with. Like three
Yeah.
photos. Like maybe we can do that like further down the road or whatever. Just see what we can come
Yeah,
up
we
with
definitely need
both
some
of us
time,
using.
but yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. I like that. Again, the watch hands are better in this one because they're further apart, and then photoshopping that out. But I love the idea, and it's creative for sure.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I actually, it looks like on the bottom left hand side, you can kind of see like, is that like a wood table there?
Yeah, so it's my computer desk.
I almost wish I could see more of that. Like
Yep.
again, maybe because all three of them were kind of similar. I almost
Right.
wish like I
Have
had some
only a
different
couple
textures.
crystals, maybe. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, so I started off with just the wood desk, but then I was like, oh, I might have some crystals around.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
put them on the tables at the restaurant. So I was like, let me try that.
Yeah, cool.
But awesome.
Nice. All right, cool. All right, let me pull up my last one here. Turn on screen share. This is the one, I guess.
Oh, with
Can
the
you see it?
knife and the money. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my favorite one. I took a
saved his
bunch, like
favorite for
top
last.
down, like yeah, of course I did, man. Heavy hitter. So this is my favorite one. Again, done on my studio on my
Yep.
desk. Yeah, I tried to bring in. So the idea behind this watch is like I wear this every day. So I'm a big like what they call EDC fan, like everyday carry. Like I like a nice like watch and wallet and knife, and I carry a nice pen and like those are my earbuds, my
I
Pixel
was
buds.
going to
So like
say, those look like earbuds. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so trying to like I like took everything that I would carry with me every day and put it on the table so that it's like what they call like a pocket dump is kind of like the best way for me to explain it. And it is just it's straight up just like what you have and trying to like display it as nicely as possible here. Sorry, let me go back.
Yeah, I definitely like this one. The only thing I would say is because the earbuds, I knew they were earbuds too when I
It's
saw
a
them.
distracting,
Little
right?
distracting, but because everything like the
Yeah.
leather wallet, the leather knife, the nice pen, those are like rugged kind of things. Earpods are so like new
I
that it's a
know.
little, but yeah, no, I like this one. I would almost say to have a little more in
I
focus
could have
of
pulled
the
that
other.
completely out probably.
Right, yeah, the earpods. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, this one's good. I didn't even think about putting like other objects besides like the crystals in there.
Yeah, so this is my favorite one. Yeah, the AirPods are definitely distracting. I took a couple more, but the problem is after I take them, that's when you start to realize, oh, I should have taken
Yep.
that out. After you go and put it on your computer. So the next time I shot that, I probably literally wouldn't change anything. I would just pull the earbuds out, and then you'd be able to see the side of the
Right.
watch.
Yep.
The other thing I would have done is I probably would have. This was shot at like f3.5. I probably would have shot this at like f6 so that like the crown of the watch was in focus if I pulled the AirPods out.
Yep. Even I
But
mean, even that the handle of the knife is it looks like that's like in great focus.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because that's like what they call like a G10 material. It's like a scaly, like
Mm.
textured, and then even like the leather at the bottom is in focus. Like I really do love the composition of this one, and then like how the depth of field like cuts through the
Yeah.
picture.
Yep. No, that one's good.
It's pretty clean. Yeah, the other thing too is like there was a fingerprint on the left, so on the bezel of the watch on the black part on the
If you really
outside.
like zoom in and
I,
see
I,
it.
well, no, I
Oh.
photoshopped it out. I like couldn't help it. I was
Yeah.
like, I have to Photoshop
Yeah.
that out because it was just super distracting.
That's funny.
So cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point,
Well,
then
I just
we
have
will
I
put.
just
Should
have
we
one more
put?
I got to show you. I got one
Okay,
more.
sounds good.
This
So
one will
let
be
me
quick.
stop streaming. Stop sharing.
Um, so this one was more on the creative side, just because it happened on accident, and then I was like, oh, maybe I could actually do it. Um, but same thing with the light, kind of messed it up. But I just thought it was creative because it's not photoshopped or anything. It's just taken through a
It's
crystal.
yeah, that is super cool. Yeah, I mean it's kind of I don't want to say gimmicky,
Right.
but it's like I guess it is distracting for
Yeah.
sure, but it's cool that it's not Photoshop. So what did you just put that
Just put the
crystal
big
like up
crystal against
against
the
your
lens. Yeah, I
lens?
just wanted to do something different, and so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I was
cool.
like, oh, this kind of works. But same
Yeah,
thing
that's
with that
cool.
big blue light. I didn't notice it until afterwards, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
frustrating. It's like, I actually should have and I could do this next time is tethered my camera to the computer, and then like after you take the picture, you can kind of sit there and analyze it before you you know
Yeah.
what I mean, before you like continue
Yeah. Oh,
going,
that's
but
true. Yeah, have it go straight
oh,
to the camera. Yeah.
yeah, straight to the computer. Yeah. So, but I'm pretty happy with the way they came out,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that like again, both of us. I don't want to say half-assed it, but we
Right.
definitely were. We got our lives are
Oh
going
yeah.
on.
Are you
But
still
they came.
still on the good time here for video?
Let me check here. Nope, I stopped. Let me hit record. What time was that? Oh, it's probably
Yeah,
just
yeah. Mine
happened.
just that's what I was
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. So I think they turned out pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with mine in general. I think, they came out pretty good for me, kind of like
Yeah.
half-assing
Oh,
it.
I would love to spend more time doing it because I think I would put a lot
Yeah.
more effort into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's crazy. Again, we talked about this like I think it was episode 9. It was like lighting, what lighting can
Hmm.
do, and watches are so reflective that it can be tough because like you need to light the watch, but at the same time you don't want it to look like I don't
Well,
know.
but so that's where I was having trouble. I was lighting the watch, but then I'd stand over it to take the photo, and then I'm blocking some of the light. So it's like it's so hard to
And then
get
there's
that
a
balance.
shadow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually used I used a key light just like you did, then a little LED flash or a little LED RGB light, but then I used a sheet of paper
To a
to
little bounce
fill
film.
in
Nice.
the
Yep.
yeah because otherwise it was like I had to shoot at too high of an ISO
Yep.
and like where my camera was, and like I shot those all handheld except for the like that
Yeah.
night one.
So I actually
So
tried. I tried some slow shutter ones, and I used like a light to kind of like I was at like 25 seconds, and I was using a light to bring in light, but sometimes
it's too
you'd get it in the watch head, and I was like, oh man.
right.
So
Yeah, it was tough. It was definitely one of the more difficult, like smaller items that I Photoshop or that I
I liked
photoed
it though. It was
before.
fun.
I
I've
mean,
never done it before.
it was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, same. The last, I mean, I posted them. I don't know if anybody saw them, but I photoed the that little vintage lens that I had with like the blue light and like the red
Yeah.
light, and like those came out. That was easier because there wasn't as much
Right.
reflection. That was actually like a lot easier than the watches. I thought it was going to be like similar, but totally
Yeah.
different for sure.
Awesome.
So yeah, I guess what we'll do is we'll post. Should we post all three, or should we post
Pick your
our
favorite one. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pick our favorite. We'll put it up on social media and see if we can get you guys to pick the winner, and be the reigning champ of episode 12, photo battle. And then Dan and I are going to try to do this. I don't know if it'll be every month, but maybe every other month.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Probably every month.
It'll be
I mean,
nice, but yeah.
it just depends. Yeah, it depends on the time and stuff, but yeah, we'll post it up. Please, everybody pick a winner. I don't know if we'll do a poll or you'll just have comment in the photos or whatever. But cool. I guess thank you everyone for listening, and please engage in the poll to see who's the winner, and appreciate hearing from you guys, and thank you for listening to Autofocus Podcast. I'm Scott,
And I'm Dan.
and have a good night.